Taurus, what I'm about to reveal to you now will keep you awake at night, not because I want to scare you, but because I need to prepare you for a truth that's about to explode into your life this weekend. God has decided the time has come for you to see with complete clarity who is truly by your side. And when I say by your side, I'm talking about someone you consider close, someone you trust, someone you would never suspect is hiding something from you. There's a divine force moving right now to tear away the masks some people wear in your presence. It won't be subtle, it won't be gradual, it will be a complete, raw, and impossible to deny exposure. And you, who value loyalty and trust so highly, will discover that you've been placing these sacred feelings in the wrong person. The burning question is, are you prepared to see someone you love in a completely different light? For years, you've built relationships based on your trustworthy and loyal nature. You believe those around you share your values. You give them the benefit of the doubt. You forgive small inconsistencies. You ignore warning signs because you prefer to believe the best in people. But God saw that this kindness was being exploited. He saw that your generosity was being manipulated, and he decided to intervene directly. This weekend, something will happen that will reveal the true intentions of someone very close to you. It could be through a conversation you overhear. It could be through evidence that accidentally surfaces. It could be through a third party who finally musters the courage to tell you what they've known for a long time. Or it could be through a moment where this person reveals themselves completely, thinking you won't find out or won't have the courage to confront them. The most painful thing of all is that you've probably already sensed something wasn't right. Your Taurian intuition, which rarely deceives you, has sent you warnings you chose to ignore, small details that didn't add up, behaviors that changed without a plausible explanation, stories that didn't completely add up. But you suppressed these signals because you didn't want to believe someone close to you could be deceiving you. Now God will force you to see what you didn't want to see. Can you feel deep in your heart that you already know who I'm talking about? Even if you try to deny it to yourself, the exposure that is coming is not a punishment for you. It is a protection. God saw that you were being used, manipulated, deceived by someone who took advantage of your trusting nature. He saw that this person was draining your energy, taking advantage of your loyalty, using your love against you. And he concluded that you have suffered enough at the hands of those who should protect and honor you. For Taurus is born between April 20th and April 30th, the exposure will reveal betrayals within the family or within long-standing friendships. Someone you consider practically family is hiding something significant that directly affects your life. For those born between May 1st and 10th, the revelation will relate to romantic issues or intimate partnerships. The person who should be your greatest ally may be playing a completely different game than you imagine. And for those born between May 11th and 20th, the exposure will occur in the professional environment or in business partnerships, revealing that someone close to you doesn't share your goals. Someone too close for you to suspect is living a double life in your presence. They show one face to you and act completely different when you're not looking. And this weekend, God will tear off that mask so clearly that not even the most optimistic person could deny the evidence. What worries me most about warning you about this is that I know how you'll react initially. You'll try to find explanations. You'll want to give someone another chance. You'll look for reasons to justify the person's behavior. Your Taurian nature detests sudden changes and conflict, so you'll try to minimize the gravity of what was revealed. But I need you to understand, when God decides to expose someone in this way, it's because the situation has already crossed all limits. It's no longer about forgiveness or second chances. It's about protecting yourself from someone who has completely lost their right to be in your life. Do you have the courage to honor the divine protection being offered, even if it means cutting ties with someone you love? The person who will be exposed this weekend isn't someone obviously bad or clearly malicious. If that were the case, you would have walked away long ago. This is someone who has managed to maintain a convincing facade, who knew how to say the right words, who has learned to manipulate your goodwill so subtly that you never realized you were being deceived. This is someone who understands your emotional weaknesses and knows exactly how to use them against you. It could be someone who always plays the victim in situations, making you feel guilty when you question their behavior. It could be someone who uses your generosity as an endless source of favors, but is never available when you need them. It could be someone who badmouths others in your presence, but you never imagined they also talk about you behind your back. Or it could be someone who promises things they never keep, but always has a convincing excuse. What all these types have in common is that they're experts at making you doubt your own perception. When something doesn't feel right, they have a ready-made explanation that makes you feel bad for having suspected anything. They turn the tables so that you end up apologizing for questioning their behavior. And over time, this has undermined your trust in your own intuition. But God saw it all. He saw every manipulation, he saw every lie, he saw every moment you were used and discarded, and he decided it was time for you to see the full truth, even if it was painful, because only when you clearly see what was happening can you take the necessary steps to protect yourself. Are you prepared to discover you were being deceived by someone you would defend tooth and nail if anyone else spoke ill of them? The upcoming exposure won't just be about past actions. It'll be about future intentions. You'll discover not only what this person has already done to you, but also what they plan to continue doing. You'll see that their plans for the future don't include your well-being. You'll realize that they see you as a means to their own ends, not as someone whose dreams and needs matter. This revelation will be particularly shocking because it will show that while you were emotionally invested in the relationship, thinking about their mutual well-being, the other person was coldly calculating how to extract maximum benefit from you. While you were being loyal, they were being strategic. While you were being authentic, they were playing a role. The moment of exposure will be so clear and definitive that you will immediately understand why God chose to intervene in this way. You will realize that if it weren't for this divine intervention, you could have spent years, perhaps decades, being deceived by this person. You could have wasted enormous amounts of energy, time, emotional, and even material resources on someone who never had your best interests at heart. This weekend, pay special attention to 3 types of situations. First, conversations you might overhear where your name is mentioned in ways you'd never expect. Second, inconsistent behavior when they think you're not paying attention. And third, their reactions to situations where their true feelings may be revealed without them realizing it. Also, be aware of third parties who may approach you with information. Sometimes God uses others as messengers to ensure the truth reaches you. Someone who knows both sides of the story may finally feel the need to speak up. Someone who witnessed something compromising may no longer be able to remain silent. Someone who has also been harmed by this person may decide you need to come together to protect each other. The exposed person will attempt damage control when they realize they've been discovered. They'll use all the emotional tactics that have worked for you in the past. They'll appeal to your compassion, your tendency to forgive, and your aversion to conflict. They'll try to turn the tables, making you feel guilty for discovering the truth. They'll minimize the severity of their actions or try to justify them with elaborate excuses. Don't fall into this trap. When God decides to expose someone, it's because they've already had every opportunity to change and have chosen to continue on the path of dishonesty. Exposure is God's last resort to protect you from further harm. If you ignore this warning and give it another chance, you're rejecting the protection offered and willingly placing yourself in a position to be harmed again. Taurus, I know your nature is to provide stability and second chances for the people you love. I know you believe that love can transform any situation. I know you'd rather endure discomfort than create rifts in important relationships. But there's a difference between being understanding of genuine human flaws and allowing someone to systematically abuse your kindness. What will be revealed this weekend won't be an isolated lapse or a momentary error. It will be a pattern of behavior that demonstrates a fundamental lack of character. It will be evidence that the person not only deceived you, but that they built an entire system of deception around it. And systems like these don't change overnight, no matter how many chances you give them. The divine protection being offered to you comes in the form of absolute clarity. You won't have to guess, interpret ambiguous signs, or rely solely on your intuition. The truth will be presented so clearly that even the most skeptical person would have to admit the evidence. And this clarity is a gift, because it will free you from years of doubt, internal questioning, and self-sabotage. For years, you may have wondered if you were being paranoid when you felt something wasn't right. You may have blamed yourself for not being able to trust completely. You may have thought the problem lay in your ability to love unconditionally. But this weekend, you'll discover that your intuition was right all along, that the signs you picked up on were real, that your distrust wasn't paranoia, it was protection. This discovery will be liberating on many levels. It will validate your perception and restore your trust in your own intuition. It will show you that you weren't naive or foolish for trusting, but rather that you were unlucky enough to encounter someone who specializes in exploiting other people's trust. And most importantly, it will give you the information you need to make informed decisions about how to protect your energy in the future. When exposure occurs, you'll understand why certain areas of your life weren't flowing as expected. You'll realize that much of your energy was being drained by this situation. You'll see that some of your difficulties were a direct or indirect result of this person's negative influence. And you'll begin to imagine how your life could be different without this invisible burden. The revelation will also show that you're not this person's only target. You'll likely discover that they have a similar pattern of behavior with others close to you, that what you thought was a special and unique relationship was actually just one of several manipulative dynamics they maintain simultaneously. This discovery can be even more shocking because it will reveal the level of calculation and premeditation behind their actions. Taurus, I want you to understand that when God decides to intervene in your life in this direct way, it's because He has greater plans for you. Plans that can't come to fruition while you're wasting your energy on people who don't deserve your loyalty. The exposure that's coming is like clearing the ground before planting something new and wonderful. You have extraordinary qualities that deserve to be honored and valued by people who truly see your worth. Your loyalty, your reliability, your ability to love deeply, your persistence, your practical wisdom, all of these should be surrounded by people who contribute positively to your life, not by those who exploit these qualities for their own gain. When you free yourself from the toxic energy you're exposing this weekend, you'll create space for genuine, honest, mutually beneficial relationships. You'll attract people who value your authenticity because they're authentic too. You'll form connections based on mutual respect, not one-sided manipulation. The process can be painful initially, especially if the person exposed is someone you love deeply. But remember, you're not losing someone who truly loved you. You're freeing yourself from someone who pretended to love you in order to use you. The pain you'll feel isn't from the loss of a real relationship. It's from the mourning of a relationship you believed was real, but never was. This distinction is crucial to your emotional healing. When you understand that you're mourning the death of an illusion, not the loss of something genuine, you'll be able to process the situation in a healthier way. You'll be able to honor the true feelings you had without blaming yourself for being deceived. Don't ignore these heightened signals. If something or someone gives you a strange feeling, pay attention. If a situation seems forced or artificial, trust that perception. If an explanation doesn't completely convince you, allow yourself to question it. Your intuition is being fine-tuned to protect you not only from the main exposure, but also from any negative energy that may be orbiting around you. You may also experience revealing dreams in the coming days. Dreams where situations become clear, where people reveal their true colors, where you see dynamics that were hidden in waking life. Don't dismiss these dreams as mere figments of the imagination. God often uses the dream state to prepare us for truths that our conscious mind isn't yet ready to process. Taurus, the upcoming exposure isn't just about discovering who doesn't deserve to be in your life. It's also about discovering your own power of discernment and protection. It's about learning to honor your intuition without feeling guilty. It's about setting clear boundaries without apologizing for it. It's about valuing your own energy enough to not allow it to be wasted on the wrong people. This experience will teach you valuable lessons about relationships that will serve you for the rest of your life. It will show you warning signs you can identify in the future. It will give you more refined criteria for choosing who to trust. It will help you understand the difference between being compassionate and being naive, between being loyal and being used. When all this is over, you will look back and see that this exposure, painful as it may have been, was one of the greatest gifts life has given you. You will realize you have been freed from an emotional prison you never knew existed. You will feel a lightness and clarity you haven't experienced in a long time, and you will be grateful to God for intervening when you did. The person being exposed may try to come back into your life in the future, especially if they see you thriving after the breakup. They may try different tactics. They may try to appear changed. They may try to appeal to the history you share. But always remember the lesson you learned this weekend. When someone shows their true colors, believe them the first time. Don't let longing or loneliness make you forget why the exposure was necessary. Don't let future manipulations make you question the clarity you've received. Keep alive in your memory the feeling of freedom you'll experience once you're free from this toxic influence. Use this memory as a compass whenever you need to make decisions about relationships. This weekend marks the beginning of a new phase in your life, where you'll be much more selective about who has access to your energy, where you'll trust your intuition more and less in the fine words people speak, where you'll value consistent actions over empty promises, where you'll understand that protecting your inner peace is more important than maintaining external peace at any cost. Your soul has chosen this moment to free itself from this negative influence. Don't fight the divine protection being offered. Don't try to save those who have chosen to be lost. Focus on protecting and honoring the most important person in this situation, yourself. Share in the comments if you're already feeling signs that something isn't right with someone close to you, if your intuition has been alerting you to suspicious behavior, or if you've been having revealing dreams. Your experiences may help other Tauruses recognize similar situations in their own lives. Subscribe to the channel, because after this weekend's exposure, you'll need guidance on how to process the revelation, how to protect yourself from future manipulation, and how to rebuild your trust in genuine relationships. God doesn't expose people to cause you pain, but to free you from pain you didn't even know you were suffering. Trust the process, honor the protection, and prepare to discover how incredible your life can be when you're surrounded only by people who truly deserve your precious energy. The truth is coming, and with it, your freedom.